herself knew it. Alejandro had started work here 6 months ago. Colette had been out on a road test when he arrived. She'd come back to the office, and there he was. He rose to shake her hand and introduce himself, and Colette dropped her clipboard. "Sorry I'm so distracted," she said, leaning down to retrieve it. "My last road test drove the wrong way down a one-way street." That was true. Colette had never been so grateful to have an excuse for looking flushed and out of breath. The driving examiners work at 4 metal desks in a room with cinder block walls painted the color of curdled cream. The only window is one-way glass, and the view is not of outside, but of the 4 scuffed blue plastic chairs in the hall where test takers wait to take their road tests. The person who accompanies them, usually a parent, has to wait over in chairs on the other side of the building. A moment or two after the test taker sits down, Trina or Gina from written tests pops open the door to the driving examiner's office, tosses the test taker's folder into the tray on top of the filing cabinet, and retreats. Vic always volunteers for the morning's first test, and today it's a burly guy in a maroon sweatsuit. "Okay, I'm headed out for coffee," Vic says. What he means is that he's going to make the burly guy go through the McDonald's drive-thru as part of the road test. He does it every single day, and no test taker has ever thought to complain. Not even the lady who chipped the Ronald McDonald statue and had to pay $300 in repairs. "None for me," Colette says. Vic frowns. "Why the fuck not?" "It gives me headaches." "What, after decades of drinking coffee, it suddenly gives you headaches?" "It's possible to develop an allergy at any time in your life," Greg says. Vic looks at him, annoyed. "Now you don't want one either?" "No, I want a premium blend, black with 2 sugars. "Alejandro?" "Americano, with an extra shot of espresso. I'll make up for Colette's lack of caffeine." He winks at Colette. The wink doesn't cause her heart to leap with hope anymore. She thinks that must be a good sign. The driving examiners are supposed to work in strict rotation, like a batting order lineup, the first available driving examiner taking the next test taker. But Colette and Vic and Greg have long ago developed their own system where they assess the test taker through the one-way glass and study the paperwork in the test taker's folder and make their own assignments. Rules apply, obviously. No one is allowed to strike every undesirable test taker who comes their way because that would basically mean no one except pretty girls, men with kind faces, and librarians would ever get driver's licenses. But they can pick and choose to some extent. None of them liked to take old people. The problems with old people were endless. Hearing loss, vision loss, memory loss, slowed reflexes, confusion. It broke Colette's heart when she saw some elderly person shuffle out to take their test and knew that person had once been lithe and slender, brimming with intelligence and verve. And she knew that the old people still thought of themselves that way. They had no idea the younger, more capable versions of themselves had decamped decades ago. It was heartbreaking, but it was also fucking scary. The old people led you out to their Lincolns and Buicks. They didn't approve of foreign-made models, and the cars would be ringed with dents and scrapes, little souvenirs of the places the old person had driven. And off you went on a hair-raising road test with someone who could barely see past the hood. They straddled lanes, ignored stop signs, braked abruptly without cause, accelerated suddenly, also without cause, pressed simultaneously on the brake and gas pedals, drove over curbs, nearly drove over people. All of them, every single one, remarked without irony about how more drivers honked their horns nowadays, how there'd been a mysterious uptick in honking recently. The old men said it was because young people are so entitled they couldn't wait for anything. The old ladies said it just showed no one bothered to learn proper manners anymore. No driving examiner liked to take teenagers either. Teenagers were almost scared.